What's up, guys? I'm Jay Randall. Welcome back to my channel where I discuss wisdom for the modern man. Today, guys, we got another video to react to. This one is brought to us by the YouTube channel Dad Mode in Dark Mode. I've become quite the fan of this channel. I really like his content. The title of the video, Are We Batteries or Are We Men? Interesting title. Let's see where he goes with this. Without further ado, let's get right into the video.
So there's a scene in The Matrix that stays burned into memory. It's when Neo wakes up from the pod, gasping for air, realizing for the first time that his entire life was an illusion. He finally sees what he really was: a power source. Nothing more than a battery feeding the machine. That's the haunting question we face right now. Are we batteries or are we men? Are we here to be drained, consumed, and discarded, or are we here to live as free beings with dignity, with respect, and with fatherhood that cannot be taken away? Pragmatic optimism might make the battery life bearable. Sure, you'll cope. You'll tell yourself that small steps are enough, and you'll accept that unbearable is your reality. But nothing truly changes. Nothing until someone takes the leap. The radical break that transforms everything, the ultimate paradigm shift. That's the tension. Incrementalism versus revolution. Coping versus breaking free. A battery doesn't live for itself. It exists only to be used. It's consumed until it has nothing left. Then it's discarded and replaced with another one.
Yeah, and that is the feeling I think a lot of men are having in today's society when it comes to relationships. It feels as though our role isn't respected, and it feels as though the significant position that it once held has been completely reduced to just a resource. You are there to to provide resources and to be extracted from. You serve only that purpose, and when you no longer serve that purpose, you are useless. There's far more to a man than being a provider. The father offers stability, structure, wisdom, leadership. It offers a level of perspective on life that only a man can give to a child, that only a man can help give to a woman or a young girl. And men, that position that was once greatly appreciated and greatly respected in society has been reduced to provide, provide, and that's it. You are a battery to be drained. And what do you do after you're done using a battery? You throw it in the trash and you go find a new one. And I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of men don't want to get into relationships anymore, because now more than ever, men feel like wallets. All you hear about in society is when women talk is, how much does he make? Is he a provider? Can he do this for me? Can he provide this for me? Can he provide me this lifestyle? Can he take me on this vacation? Can he buy me this flashy car? How much does the ring need to be again? Oh, I won't settle for a ring less than 20K. Are we batteries or are we men? And I think that's a really, really good question to ask.
That's what modern men are being shaped into. We wake up, we clock in, we grind out our hours. We pay into a system that despises us.
Yep.
Our value is measured only by how much can be extracted from us. Pragmatic optimism tells you, chip away, make the best of it, right? Take small steps. And sure, yeah, that might make your existence more tolerable. Sure. But what if tolerable isn't enough? What if the machine feeds until nothing's left, nothing remains? It's insatiable, the machine. The question becomes at that point, do you want a life that's bearable or a life that breaks the unbearable? See, the matrix doesn't need chains. It needs consent. It needs you to accept the role of a battery and then call it life.
Yeah.
That's just life.
Oh man, that statement right there. That's just life. I've questioned that, and this is why I've pushed back against the certain narratives of what the male experience should be. It's go to school, get a job, make money, find a girl, marry her, provide for her, give her everything you have, all that you have to offer for the next 10, 15 years. She inevitably divorces you, takes half your stuff. You're left bitter, and you spend the rest of your life somewhere, trying to squeeze the whatever value you can out of the few pennies you have left until you die. Maybe you remarry. It just seems like such a bleak thing to play out, and a lot of men just kind of accept that as the man's life. That's life. No, I reject that, man. That's not going to be my life. I'm not going to play out that sad, sorry story. My job is not to be put here to just be extracted and used and then tossed aside and just live this miserable existence. No, I refuse to consent to that, to playing into that system. And if I have to carve out a different path in life for myself to ensure that I have a different outcome, I'll do it. Even if nobody's walked that path before, I'll do it. Because I refuse to just accept that that is the life of a man and he ought to just walk the path because, that's what you do. No, no, I refuse. And so, yeah, that's life. That phrase doesn't work for me.
You've heard that before. That's just life. That's your consent
Yep.
right there. Now, Morpheus tells Neo the Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality. The system doesn't just enslave you physically, it enslaves you mentally. It convinces you that the choices you're making are your own.
Yep,
When
exactly.
really they were written for you.
You never thought to question it.
Get a degree, get a job, pay your taxes. Maybe if you're lucky, keep access to your children.
Yep.
This is the essence of pragmatic optimism. Accept the difficulty. Do your best within the rules.
And if you're lucky, maybe it'll play out in your favor. Maybe. No guarantees. Like, follow this pre-written script that we've told you is the best way that you ought to live your life. But we're not guaranteeing you any results with this. There's no insurance on this on this path. There's plenty of ways it can go wrong, but do it anyway because that's how you offer value to society. That's how you be a good little battery. Think nothing of if this actually benefits you and if it provides value to you and makes a fulfilling life for you. Think only of the system. Yeah, no, man, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. And I think a lot of men are waking up to that.
Hope and pray for small gains. That's coping. That's coping, not transformation. Life becomes bearable when you accept the system. But life becomes meaningful only when someone takes the leap that fear keeps most people from making.
Yep.
That's the moment when survival becomes transformation. And only then. For me, this isn't philosophy, it's personal. It's my life. All I want is to be in my son's life, to stand as his father, respected as such. But the system reduces that fatherhood to paperwork and hearings and supervised visits. Fatherhood becomes fuel for another machine.
Fatherhood is just it's been reduced to a dollar bill. That's it. That's fatherhood. Provide. Provide what? Not leadership, not core values, not strength, not a role model. You're a dollar bill. Make sure you can give the mom some money, and that's your role as the dad. You've been reduced to a paycheck, a wallet, a battery. And yeah, it's complete nonsense, man. It's complete nonsense, and men need to really take a good look at their lives and see if they're on this pre-written path. And I want to touch on what he said about, that path that most people fear to take. That is where you find most fulfillment, man. Like me taking the risk and starting these YouTube channels, I took a risk. I definitely took a risk. But because I see a future outside of the 9 to 5. And you know what? It is a lot easier to just accept the fact that, I could just go to school, make this money, and I'll have a job, a career job. But that would just keep me trapped in the 9 to 5. And yeah, I am still working on that on the side, trying to, I have different strategies that I'm working on, but that the pre-written script offers a certain level of mental, like it makes you feel secure, like safe. If I follow this script, I'll be safe. But you won't thrive. You won't thrive. And those who are willing to take a risk on themselves, take a risk at failure, are the ones who actually find freedom. And I wanted that for myself, even if it's scary initially, to seek out a different outcome and a different path than the one society just tells you to walk down.
That machine is custody battles and attorney fees, endless bureaucracy. And yeah, pragmatic optimism says endure it. Make the most of your time. That's limited. Make the most of your limited time. Be
Mm-hmm.
thankful for the scraps. That's coping. But coping preserves the unbearable. Radical transformation says no, fatherhood is not negotiable. It is not fuel. It cannot be reduced to a line item in a court order. Someone has to bear the unbearable and refuse to comply. That's the leap.
Yeah.
A man can survive many wounds. Many wounds. But when his fatherhood is stripped of respect and reduced to a battery, it breaks him at his core. This is simple. All men want respect and consideration, not comfort, not luxury, respect.
Yep.
Without it, a man is no longer treated as a man. He's
Except
treated as fuel.
as a tool. Yep. A man will go out to war for respect. A man will go work in the coal mines if he's respected for it. A man will do darn near anything if you give him respect in return for the task that he's doing. But the reason why a lot of young men feel so unmotivated to get into school, get higher education, or to become become like a productive member of society in terms of, getting a career or getting into relationships, it's because every aspect of life that has to do with men, the respect element has been completely removed. Just men in general aren't respected. So men feel no real pull or no real motivation to do much because nothing's respected. There's plenty of respect for women. Anything a woman does, oh my God, that should be respected and praised. If she wants to be a single mom, even the negative things are respected and praised in society. It seems as though a woman can do no wrong, no matter what she chooses to do. If she even says, I want to leave my perfect husband, she's respected and everybody praises her for, oh, that's so brave. You're so brave for choosing you. Everything a woman does in society. If she chooses to be a freaking, like, promiscuous hoe, she's brave. She's living her truth. She's living her life. She's being bold. Everything a woman does is respected, even the degenerate things. But nothing a man does is respected. So men just feel like, what's the point? Why am I going to do this? It doesn't benefit me. I'm not even respected for doing it. I'm just a tool to be used to be extracted from some like other entity, be it the government or women. It's just, yeah, men have lost their drive. And I think it's not until men unplug from the system and live life on their own terms that they'll be able to find respect within themselves. You must first respect yourself. Feel pride in the decisions you're making, not just following some pre-scripted course.
Neo wasn't given respect by the system. He was given a cubicle and a paycheck and the illusion of choice. That's the life of a battery. But when he woke up, when he embraced who he was meant to be, he became something no system could contain. Pragmatic optimism keeps you in your cubicle. Radical change requires the red pill, not the blue. One preserves life, the other redefines it.
Yep.
Agent Smith says human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague, and we are the cure. That's exactly how the system sees fathers and men, not as essential, not as anchors of stability, but as expendable, even as a threat. The
Yep.
system sets its will against men and fathers deliberately.
Because we, as men, uniquely have the power to overthrow the system. We are stronger as men than we really give ourselves credit for. The only reason we feel so weak and defeated is because we've given into the system. We've accepted that the system has control over us. That's why. But I think this is why they want to shut down the manosphere so much, because never before have, well, actually they did used to do this in the past before men became weak, but it's only recently that men are starting to congregate again. They're starting to communicate again. They're starting to band together. Their collective thoughts are beginning to, rally together. Their will. And when you get a bunch of men who decide that we don't like the way things are going, that's how you get revolutions. And that is why you'll see them attack the manosphere, attack the red pill. They're attacking the men as a whole from banding together. They need us fragmented. They need us fragmented. I'm telling you guys, men are strong and we can change the world. And yes, the system views men as a threat. And that's why you'll see them throw out different things to pacify us, whether it be pornography, whether it be sex, whether it be whatever kind of entertainment, drugs, weed. They need to keep men pacified because we can change the world. In whatever way or shape we view it or whatever way we want it to be, we can change it. And I think now more than ever, the system is becoming afraid because men are waking up, they're unplugging, and they're banding together. And that is how revolutions are formed.
Every structure is designed to weaken us, to push us out, to tell us we're not needed or wanted. Incremental reforms won't change that. They won't change that at its core. History proves this. Some things bend with slow reforms, but others only break when someone risks everything. Abolition, revolution, the tearing down of empires.
Yep.
Without the radical leap, the unbearable remains intact.
Mm-hmm.
The very moment that Neo is unplugged, he's weak. hairless, trembling. That's what it feels like to wake up as a man. You realize how dependent you've been on illusions. You feel the cold reality for the very first time. This is the difference between bearing and breaking. Pragmatic optimism says bear it, endure it, keep the illusions if they help you cope. But Neo didn't just bear the pod, he broke it. He took the leap. And once you see the truth, you cannot never unsee it. You can never unsee it. For fathers, breaking the pod means refusing to let your role be diminished to a visitation schedule or a court order. It
Yep.
means it means standing in the raw truth that your fatherhood is sacred, even if the machine hates it.
Yep.
Hates it. Morpheus tells Neo there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Freedom costs. Incremental optimism costs little. Radical transformation costs everything.
Yep.
That's why most men choose the pod. They choose the paycheck, the compliance, the quiet despair.
Because you don't have to put much on the line. You just continue on the path that has been laid out before you. They'll give you the tools to stay on the course that you're on. They give you your job. They'll give you just enough money to get yourself a car, just enough money to pay for your apartment or rent out a room, just enough money to buy yourself food and internet to keep yourself sedated with porn, and just enough to keep you going. Just enough. They'll provide you with just enough, the system. But it's not until you decide to step outside the system that you'll be able to thrive. But there's also that fear that a lot of people have of stepping outside the system, because you step outside of what your brain views as security. You feel safe because this is what everybody's doing, and you're getting just enough. And in order to really thrive, you have to risk it all. You have to gamble it all. But you gamble it all on you. And I think a lot of people perhaps don't have enough faith in themselves to view a favorable outcome with that gamble. But you should. Because the system, while it might be or offer minimal security and make you feel safe at the moment, it offers guaranteed unfulfillment. And I think people need to take that into account.
It's bearable. It's bearable. But someone has to step beyond bearable.
Yeah.
Someone has to show that fear can be broken. And when one man does, when he takes the unbearable step, the collective imagination expands. Suddenly, others see it's possible. The paradigm shifts. That's the difference between incrementalism and revolution. Once again, one preserves life, the other redefines it. And here's the truth. I would give everything I have, even my own comfort and safety, to expose the illusions and see this diseased temple of lies collapse under its own weight. Because fatherhood is not a fuel. It's not expendable. It is not property of the system. Pragmatic optimism is not enough here. It keeps you alive, but it doesn't set you free. Radical change means revolt, not with weapons, but with truth, with endurance, and refusal to comply. It means bearing the unbearable weight and breaking it so that others will never have to. The temple is already rotting. The walls are already cracking. And men who stand as fathers, who refuse to be batteries, become the symbolic hammer, the undeniable proof that makes the whole structure fall apart. This is the choice: be drained, consumed, discarded, or stand as a man. Be fuel for the system, or be a father who cannot be erased. Make no mistake, you cannot be both. Neo was offered 2 pills, blue, and you stay a battery, red, and you wake up. That choice is before every man. The blue pill is pragmatic optimism. Bearable, tolerable, incremental.
Just enough.
The red pill is radical transformation, dangerous, unbearable,
Yep.
but transcendent. The only way to stop being a battery is to stand as a man.
Yep.
The Matrix is real. Maybe not in wires and pods, but in the same way it feeds on us. The system already drains your time and your energy and your fatherhood. Pragmatic optimism makes that drain bearable. Radical change ends it. The question is not whether life can be endured. The question is whether you are willing to break the unbearable, to leap, to transcend. The question is whether you will let it. Are you a battery or are you a man?
That is a solid message. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was really well said, man. And I think a lot of guys will benefit from this video, you know, because it's very necessary for a man to make that conscious decision in society. Am I going to choose the path laid out for me? Play the part that they want me to fit in as just a battery, as just a wallet, just a provider. And that's it. Reduced down to what I can provide and nothing more. Or am I going to actively resist that, refuse to give in to, well, that's just life, and accept my role in the system and fight that, take the risk, take the leap, take the red pill, deal with the uncomfortability, and then thrive. I think men nowadays need to make that conscious decision to not play into the system. And that is what's going to lead men to having better outcomes. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel, like the video. And until next time, guys, take it easy.